It's time for another episode of Heaven's Kitchen from St. Dominic's Catholic Church in San Francisco. I'm Brother Michael James.
And I'm Kathleen Folan, Director of Family and Youth Ministries at St. Dominic's. Today we are in the beautiful kitchen of parishioners Anne and Ray Whitaker, and we are going to make angel food cupcakes in honor of the Feast of the Archangels on September 29th.
We're going to get started. We decided to make angel food cupcakes, obviously because of the name angels, but we decided cupcakes because it's a little bit easier than getting a proper. So all you need is your muffin pan, your cupcake can, and then just put in your liners. And then we're going to set the oven to 325 degrees with the rack in the middle of the oven. We're going to use a stand mixer. You can use a hand mixer as well, but then you're going to be there for a little bit longer. So we have our stand mixer ready to go. And we're going to whip together 6 egg whites, 1 tablespoon of water, a teaspoon of real vanilla extract, 3/4 teaspoons of cream of tartar, and then a half a cup of castor sugar, which we're going to add slowly as we're whipping the eggs until they make stiff peaks.
Okay, and what's castor sugar?
Okay, so castor sugar is the texture is in between granulated sugar and powdered sugar, so it's just a little bit finer. We're using it because it's less coarse than granulated sugar, and we don't want our eggs to deflate as we're whipping them.
Oh, interesting. Do you have any other tips?
Yes, so I mentioned these are room temperature egg whites. It's actually easier to separate eggs when they're cold, and then you can just save the egg yolks for creme brulee or lemon curd or something like that. Okay, we're going to mix it on slow at first, just so those things integrate.
So it's been a few minutes and it looks like the egg whites are ready.
Yes, so if you look at the mixer, kind of see these stiff peaks, sticks together, so good. So now we're going to sift in our flour gently.
Stir it in.
So yeah, so we're going to do this a little bit like a third at a time, and we're going to use a rubber spatula, and we're going to gently incorporate it so that we don't deflate our egg whites. So that what gives our cupcakes a little bit of their firmness. Right, because angel food cake really is just meringue with flour in it to make your cake. So now it's time to spoon our batter into the cupcake liners until they're full, which seems kind of odd. Usually when you're making cupcakes, you don't fill it to the top, right? But these are going to rise up just a little bit, but then they're going to soften a little bit as well. So you can use an ice cream scoop. It's kind of the perfect size. This is something the kids can obviously help with. All right, and then now again, we're just going to use this little offset spatula because the meringue, if we just put it in the oven as it would just bake this way. It wouldn't get flat like an angel food cake. Again, they don't have to be perfect. We learned that baking before.
Perfection is the enemy of time, remember?
Right. Okay, so we're going to put that in the oven again at 325 degrees, which it's already preheated, for 25 minutes or until they're golden brown on the top. It might take a few more minutes, but you always want to keep an eye just to make sure that they're not burning. So we'll be back in about 25 minutes as we take them out of the oven.
So after 27 minutes, they look really good. And we need them to cool in the pan for a few minutes before we transfer them to the cooling rack. So we'll just leave them here and then we'll take them out of the pan.
Great.
Our cupcakes are done, and here to help us enjoy them is our special guest, our pastor, Father Michael Hurley.
Thank you, Father Michael, for joining us for this Feast of the Archangels, or as you like to call it,
Saint Michael and companions.
Yeah.
Those other angels, the archangels, they get their own days, but after the new calendar came, they consolidated with one, but we know who is primary on that 29th of September.
That's right. Saint Michael.
Saint Michael the
Saint
Archangel.
Michael the Archangel. Defend us in battle.
Amen.
Okay, Father Michael, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your favorite part of Saint Michael.
Yeah, first of all, I love Saint Michael. Certainly his patron is my baptismal name and my religious name. And I love angels and Saint Michael in particular. Well, first of all, because they're fun. You ever heard the old joke, why do angels fly?
Why?
Because they take themselves lightly.
Like this cupcake.
Light and airy. But angels are so important for our spiritual life. Each one of us has a guardian angel. And on this feast of St. Michael, we celebrate the fact that we have a resource, a companion, a patron who can help us in our daily struggles. St. Paul says the daily struggles that we face, it's not just our own failures. It's not just the circumstances around us that we can see. We're actually battling with spiritual forces, principalities and powers. And so if we want to be victorious, if we want to make growth and effort and any kind of progress in our spiritual life, we need spiritual help. And St. Michael's the one whom we can call upon.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
When did the tradition of saying the St. Michael prayer at the end of Mass come in?
Yeah, it came from, the Holy Father had this vision in which he saw the smoke of Satan come into the church and realized that often we think, folks who are Catholic, who are baptized or within the church, that all of the adversarial potency it comes from without, as if people are attacking the church. The Pope realized that oftentimes it's from within that can poison and corrupt us. And so he asked St. Michael to protect the whole church. St. Michael, the patron saint of the chosen people, God's people, the Israelites, were protected by St. Michael even in the Old Testament. And the Pope said, we need indeed St. Michael to protect us in the church now. And so it was added to the end of the Mass of Trent and the prayers at the altar to pray that St. Michael might indeed protect and guide those who have just received communion and those who are about to be sent on mission, which happens at the end of Mass. For this reason, after pandemic, after kind of the COVID, everyone was isolated. We begin to emerge back into our normal ways of life. We add that prayer to St. Michael as a kind of historical but also spiritual recognition of how St. Michael leads, guards, and protects us.
Yeah, it's
We need that
beautiful. We
protection,
definitely
yeah.
do, yeah. Well, I think we're ready to enjoy some angel food cupcakes.
Yum.
We made some whipped cream during the break, which is just very simple, some heavy cream, a little bit of sugar, some vanilla. So you can put that on there with some berries, or you can use lemon curd, or Father Michael's going to be creative today and try something really different.
Disclaimer, this is not our recipe. This is Father Michael's treat. But here, why don't we plate it on the plate for you? And I'll just say, my grandma grew up in Canada, just north of Chinook, Montana. Probably no one knows where that is. That's where my family's from. And she would grow her own strawberries, and we had this every Sunday night for dinner during the summertime. All right, Father Michael.
All right.
There's your cupcake. What do you want to put on?
Some whipped cream.
Well, I was saying, if you want your angel food cake to really have wings, if you really want that angel food cake to sing, you've got to add a little ginger.
I think strawberries are good, personally.
I'm
So
a huge
here is some ginger,
All right, so
and here's a fork. You can put on the Father Michael.
I'm going to put out the Father Michael appropriate
What
ginger.
he likes.
This.
Probably more than what you like.
We'll start slow. There we go.
And we have some ginger jam.
Oh, ginger jam. Why not? We'll
Just go for it.
we'll add a little bit of sweetness to the mix as well, so you can have a little both and, as they say, a little both and.
Beautiful. I can smell that ginger. Okay.
Well, go ahead, Father Michael.
Okay, so am I supposed to
Go ahead and try it.
All right, so this is going to be a very delicate task, no doubt, as is wont with this.
All right, Father Michael.
All right, are we
He's
gonna?
ready.
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Good. Yeah. How's the ginger?
Light, fluffy, and very gingery. That's a delicious, actually.
Good. Well, that's all we have time for today. To Anne and Ray Whitaker, thank you so much for letting us use your house. To all of our audience, thanks for joining us for another episode of Heaven's Kitchen from St. Dominic's Catholic Church in San Francisco.
And we'll be back next week with a new episode on the patron saint of our city, St. Francis. And his feast day is October 4th, which is 3 days before the gala. Get your tickets today if you haven't already.
All right, we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
For more videos from the friars in St. Dominic's Catholic Church, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, like and comment. You'll get to see Liturgy of the Hours, more Heaven's Kitchen, a lot of concerts and different events, and especially things for the Jubilee. See you then.